All right, guys, so you've probably heard that we are in a trust recession right now in the online info space. And that's true. Trust is at an all-time low and skepticism is at an all-time high. Markets are way more sophisticated. Everyday people are hopping on sales calls. They're trying programs. Things aren't working and they're just becoming way more cautious around where they're spending their money, right? So as humans, we act out of safety, and safety and trust go hand in hand. Like you trust your mum, you feel safe with your mum. You trust your girlfriend, you feel safe with your girlfriend. So our job as business owners is to build trust and build a digital relationship with your ideal client through your marketing material so that they want to invest their hard-earned money into your program, product, or service. Now, the great thing about this is that these are principles, right? These 3 trust triggers that I'm going to break down are principles. And when you master things in principles, the extensions of those principles are therefore mastered. I got that quote from a 33-degree Freemason. I was listening to some YouTube video and he said, when you master things in principles, the extensions of those principles are therefore mastered. So if we bring that over to the marketing space, what are the extensions of principles? These are things like the best funnels, the best ad strategy, the best business model. These are all extensions of principles. The principles in marketing is psychology, right? So you can have these trust triggers embedded into whatever marketing strategy you are using so that you can build this trust and get more sales. This is what I do with my clients, helping them scale anywhere from zero, starting from scratch, all the way up to 60K per month is the highest I've got someone to at the moment. By implementing these trust triggers, right? Because marketing is just mass psychology. So the first thing that your ideal client has to have trust in, and by the way, these aren't like in order. As you can see, this is a Venn diagram. They all work with each other and are as important as each other. But I'm just going to go through this just with this order. So one trust that they have to have is trust in your offer. So they have to believe that your mechanism is the only solution to their problem, right? So your mechanism is the process that you use to get the result. So let's say that you help someone make money online with remote sales. That's the industry that you're in. You have to prove to your ideal client, let's say that your ideal client is like a 9-to-5er who's burnt out at work and wanting to make money online. You have to prove to them through your marketing material that remote sales is the only solution to their problem. So how do you do this? Well, you throw rocks at other solutions that solve the same problem. So what are other solutions that solve the same problem for helping make 9-to-5ers make money online? There's so many, right? E-com, drop shipping, you know what I mean? Like there's just so many different, like Etsy stores, AI agencies, Airbnb arbitrage. Like there's just so many solutions that solve the problem of helping people make money online. So your job as a business owner, if that is the case, is if you're helping people make money online, is to show how yours is the best solution to that problem. How is your solution, remote sales, better, easier, faster, more effective, right? And you can validate that through different methods, right? I won't go into that in this training or this video, but you have to show your audience how this is the best opportunity compared to others. Once they believe that, then they actually care about what's included within the offer itself, like within the deliverables. So they have to clearly be able, and this is how you build trust, right? This is how you build trust in your offer. They have to clearly see the path from where they are now to where they want to be with your offer. If it is overwhelming and confusing and very complex, a confused mind will never buy, right? They have to feel like it is easy. And that's one of the next ones here I think I have here, which is the perceived ease of implementation. If they can perceive that the implementation of your offer is easy, then they are far more likely to trust it, because no one wants to go in, like just human instincts. We don't want to go into uncertainty. We don't want to go into scarcity or fear or like lack. So if we can see how we can go from A to B, with this offer, then they are far more likely to trust it, right? Because it's clear. Trust is built from transparency. So your job as a business owner is to build as much transparency as possible and justify what it is you're putting in front of them, right? So you're trying to show how this is the best solution to the problem, and this is exactly how it works, and this is why it works, and that's where the justification comes in. So perceived ease of implementation. They have to, to build trust in your offer, they have to see others achieving similar results. So you do this through case studies, proof, they see the community, they see how it's vibrant, and other people are in a similar position to them and they've been able to achieve great results that they want, right? As well as they believe that they can't get to their desired outcome without it. So you can use marketing to show how, yes, this is the only solution to their problem, and the only way to get there is through your offer, because you have some unique deliverables that make it almost inevitable for them to get the outcome, right? So let's say, for example, with the remote sales opportunity, you could have weekly role plays or live training sessions, or you place people into an actual offer, right? So you place sales closers into an offer. That's a great deliverable, right? Because they won't be able to find an offer for them to close on if they didn't have you. So that's what I mean by that. It's like they can't get the desired outcome without it. This then builds that trust, that believability. They need it, right? What else do we have here? They know the risks. So like I said, trust is built through transparency. And as we mentioned, trust is an all-time high. So we want to show the risks of the opportunity. If it sounds like everyone subconsciously have, if it sounds too good to be true, then it is, right? I don't believe that to be the case. There's a lot of things that sound too good to be true, and they are good. But because they're coming in through a lens of skepticism, if you show them the risks, that then accelerates trust. So the risks could be, that you don't get on an offer for 6 months, and that you have to develop your skill set before. And I'm just going to go down the line of the remote closing opportunity. You have to develop a skill set before you get onto an offer and actually start making money, and that might take some time, right? So if you're just transparent with that, it builds that trust, and you bring it forward with them. So and this is more so when they're on the sales call itself and they're contemplating going into purchasing your program, product, or service. The vision outweighs the price, right? So people will only act out of alignment with where they are, with who they see themselves to be, if the desired outcome that they want, or the desired self-image that they want, is stronger than the fear of staying the same. that was a lot, but it's kind of like you have to build a vision to show them how this is the desired outcome, and it's going to help them with getting a return on investment. Like, the price shouldn't even be an issue. The price is just the ticket to get the desired outcome. It far outweighs what they're investing, right? If they come through and it's like, oh, this price is way too expensive, like I'm not even getting much for this, and either you don't have enough value in your program, or you just really are just pricing it way too high, that's going to create a lack of trust, because it's going to feel like they're getting ripped off. It's like, why is this so expensive? So the perceived vision of their future has to outweigh the price, and that is when someone will buy. So that's the trust in the offer itself. The next one that we have here, and again, it's not in order, is trust in themselves. So they have to believe that they can achieve the outcome, right? So they have to feel capable, right? That they can achieve the desired outcome. If they don't feel like they can, they won't, right? Why? Like, if they don't have an inkling of like, oh, I could do this, why would they invest? If they're like, oh no, this is just way too out of reach for me. I see myself as much more creative rather than mathematical or like numbers driven, right? So if there was an opportunity for me to be able to make 50 grand a month, but it's through some type of like engineering course where I have to like do all these numbers and everything, I don't feel capable. So I'm not going to trust myself to be able to get that outcome. Of course I could, and like the marketing material would have to be really good from this offer to show me how I could, for me to actually want to do that, right? So they have to feel capable. If you can help them feel capable and show them, hey, you can do this. Other people like you are doing this, which is what I have here. Then they trust themselves, right? They're more willing to take action. High likelihood of achieving the outcome. So again, this kind of bleeds into, and they're all going to bleed into each other. This bleeds into like the perceived ease of implementation and a clear path from where they are to where they want to be. There's a high likelihood of the outcome being achieved. This can be done through like, on a more technical front, having like guarantees or anything like that. That kind of helps with the likelihood of achieving the outcome. It's a risk reversal. But they have to feel like they can get the outcome themselves. They have to see others like them getting the outcome. So even if they're in like a worse position, quote unquote, for where they're at currently, and someone who has, I don't know, if you're helping people make money with content, someone who has less followers making more money than them, then that's going to build trust. Because it's like, oh, if this person could do it, why can't I? Right? So it's like using your marketing material like social proof, validating, and all these different things to show how you can build this trust, to make it seem like it's easy for them to want to buy, for them to get the desired outcome. The offer aligns with their desired self-image. So like I said, people will take action if their self-image, like if people do, most of the time people don't take action out of accordance with how they see themselves. The only time they do is if the burn for the desired image of who they could become is greater than who they are now. And that emotional pull is stronger for them to be willing to neglect their current self-image, right? Which is very scary to do, which is why the future self-image has to be extremely strong. So that is how they'll build trust, because it's like, this is something that I need. Again, it's like a necessity. So that's trust in themselves. And then the last one here is trust in you. Are there other people who have the same offer? What makes you different? How do you separate yourself? Well, here is how. So you've shifted their beliefs. You've made them think differently. A great example of this, actually it might not be a good example, but one of the most influential people that shifted my beliefs was Andrew Tate. Back in like COVID times, he was the way that he was just articulating things about manhood, masculinity, providing, discipline, courage, all of these things. It kind of ignited something in me to double down and work harder, right? So he shifted my beliefs. I didn't buy The Real World, but he was someone who was influential in terms of me just taking more action and being more, stepping into my masculine energy and having more drive, right? He made me think differently. And he's done that for so many other guy friends that I know and around the world, obviously, which is why he's been able to create this influence, because he's shifting beliefs. He's changing how people see themselves, right? I remember one time where he was on a live stream with Aiden Ross, and he was saying, Aiden Ross was asking, how do I get a six-pack in the fastest way possible? And Andrew Tate was like, why are you wanting it quickly? If it was quick, everyone would have it and there wouldn't be any worth or value in having a six-pack. It needs to be hard so that it has value. Difficulty and value go hand in hand, right? So things like that, it's like, holy shit. It kind of just aligns with what I had already been thinking, but the way that it was articulated shifted my beliefs, or like solidified my beliefs, or kind of just made me think differently, right? So you can do that as well. Another example is a mentor of mine who I invested $25,000 into, right? He shifted my beliefs too. He did the exact same thing around making what the desire that I want, making it seem easier for me to be able to get that desire through him rather than me doing it myself. So he made me think differently, and he did that through like his YouTube videos and his content and everything like that, right? And like, it's so powerful. My mentor Trey, he's in America, right? I'm in Australia. I've never even met him. I've only met him over Zoom, and I met him once and invested that. So it's crazy, like when you shift beliefs and you build trust in you, and you build a digital relationship and you get people to trust in you. This is one of the most influential to get people to buy. So the next is that they see you as an authority and a leader that can help them. So that's exactly what happened with Trey. He's got incredible results. He was shifting my beliefs. He's helped hundreds of people with hitting 20, 30, 40, 50K months, multiple people hitting 100K months, $1 million months, the whole lot, right? So you have to position yourself as an authority and as a leader. Now, the beauty of this is if you shift their beliefs, you automatically become an authority. Right? If you're helping people think differently, you're leading their thoughts. You could not lead them anymore. You are opening up new neural pathways or rewiring neural pathways and opening up their mind. So you become a leader in that sense. So this is the core of building trust in you. There's a few other things as well. Radical transparency, the good and the bad, right? If when people say things and it's like, oh, that's like cringe or people kind of go out of a line and you almost project, but you also have respect for them. It's like people love radical transparency, even if it means that they may be it's not in their best interest to say or act the way that they did. You still respect it, right? So radical transparency builds trust because it feels like then there's not a facade. They're not always, if they're always just good and they're always doing the right thing and they're just they're not willing to look wrong or say the wrong thing, then it's like, what are they hiding? Whereas radical transparency, showing the good and the bad of your personality, makes it feel like there's nothing being hidden and that what they're saying is the truth. That's the exact same with Andrew Tate. That would be why he's so big, because it's just radical transparency. He got cancelled. He was saying all this stuff about women. And it's like, it kind of impacts his influence and his image, but he didn't care, right? And it's crazy now because now Sky, my girlfriend, listens to Andrew Tate. So she listens to him. She loves him because you just look past the stuff that he says about women and the controversial takes and everything like that. But that radical transparency builds trust. All right. You get them to buy into your mission. So I think this is the last one here. Yeah, you get them to buy into your mission. So if you can show how you're doing things, not out of self-interest, not out of you just... For example, for me, I don't post my income, my Stripe screenshots, how much money I'm making, because that's not my job. My job is to help you guys with making more money. My clients making more money. They're the things that I'm wanting to flaunt and show off. My mission is to help people with using their skill set and turning it into a business that impacts lives, right? So if I was just posting my Stripe screenshots, it's kind of like, it doesn't make sense, right? I want people to buy into my mission, making the world, opening up education to the world, online education, and helping business owners turn their skill set into an income. So these are the three core trusts that you have to build in your ideal client's mind. I do have this sheet here for you guys to be able to download, as well as some other database sheets here too. But I'll just give you guys this one for now. If you want the other ones, just let me know and we can flick those through. But you can have this to just kind of take what we've said and add it to your Notion or whatever it is. But these are the backbone, these trust pillars or triggers are the backbone of your marketing strategy. It doesn't matter what strategy you have, what business you're in. People buy when they feel safe. You build safety through developing trust in a digital relationship so that they're willing to invest their hard-earned money into your program, product, or service. So if you are an online info service provider and you're wanting support with marketing and sales, I have two different offers within my business. One is done for you, where I come in, I do all the marketing, sales processes, VSL scripting, funnels, everything for you. Usually this is working with people who are already doing over 10K. If you're under 10 to 15K and you're wanting to learn how to do marketing and sales yourself, I have a Done With You program where you get unlimited one-on-one support with me, video course modules where I go over this stuff in more depth, and the community and live sales training as well. So If you're wanting to grow and develop your income, send me a DM on Instagram and we can open up that conversation and see what it looks like to work with each other. If not, or you're just wanting to get value from this, subscribe, like, comment. I would love to hear your thoughts. And then, yeah, we'll go from there. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.